What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. So let's talk about another member of this Saints draft class. And then James Slater in a bit had a really good update on the Derek Carr situation, in which he is clearly in direct contact with the Derek Carr camp. But Ross Jackson had a great piece on LouisianaSports.net. Again, guys, LouisianaSports.net, it's built through Guarantee here. They are doing an excellent job of covering all your favorite local sports, and Ross is spearheading the Saints coverage, and of course, he hosts Locked On Saints, the Locked On Network. Like it's very good and very thought provoking and very good breakdowns. And one of his most recent pieces has to do with a member of this Saints draft class that we have not talked about yet, and that is Louisville corner Quincy Riley. And he asked the question: could Quincy Riley start for the Saints in 2025? And first, so let's talk about who Quincy Riley is, Jake, and what he did, because again, we see what appeared to be a common theme for the Saints this draft, and one that feels obvious, and it's almost like, why don't you do this more? But it was productivity. We mentioned Devin Neal.
Yeah.
3,000-yard seasons. 7 yards carry every year, right? Danny Stutzman leading the Sooners in tackles for 3 years. Well, Quincy Riley had 29 passes defended his last 2 years at Louisville, and 15 picks during his college career as a whole, 9 in the last 2 years at Louisville. 15, that was the most of anyone in this NFL draft. He has the most interception return yards by far. He's a track guy, 5'10", 200, 4.48 speed. But again, if I'm trying to evaluate talent, and I'm picking someone, and it's a gamble as to whether or not they'll be good, imagine just drafting all the guys who are already good. And like you think, like it's got to maybe give you a higher chance of hitting. Like at least on paper, I really like this draft class the more we unpack it.
Yeah, so he was highly productive, multiple spots. You go all the way back to 2021 when he's at Middle Tennessee State. He was tied for 4th in the FBS with 5 interceptions, first team All-Conference USA that same year. Also was All-ACC in 23 and 24. So very productive player, 4.48 guy. Now, he's a little bit under 5'11".
Yeah.
And so that's why he lasts until the 4th round, and it's not a first, second round pick, because the production's there, the athleticism is there, all that's there, right? The measurables a little off, but this is somebody that has been a ball hawk in his career. Yep. So he has shown that even though he has a 5'10" corner, he can still go get the football. So the production is through the roof in 2 different spots. He actually had like a 3rd round grade on him, so the Saints probably feel like they got really good value in the 4th round there. But I am way more the side of go get production from a place like Louisville, opposed to this relative athletic score from this group of 5 school. He only had 3 sacks, but if you do a deep dive into the numbers, he's got this score, and this score tells me he can get this in the NFL. No, that does not. You've tried that before. So, this draft was way more about production, and you mentioned Stutzman. That's somebody we know what he looks like at a place like Oklahoma.
Yep.
We know what Riley looks like at a place like Louisville.
And as we're talking this out, one thing that I'm realizing too, Jake, that'll become more and more commonplace and is interesting in scouting is, what Quincy Riley looks like in a jump up in competition. Like you said, he starts at Middle Tennessee.
He was on the track team too
at
Middle Tennessee State.
Middle Tennessee State?
Yeah, ran the, I believe it was the 100 and the 4x1.
So elite speed. But he starts there. He's very productive. Then he goes to a better conference, and he's all conference right away, twice. By the time it's all said and done. And so I like seeing a guy who, by merit, earned his way up to the Louisville level and then became an All-ACC selection. And like we said, more picks than anybody in this draft class. Now, okay, how does he fit in with the New Orleans Saints? You traded Lattimore. You lose Paulson and Debo. Kool-Aid McKinstry looks to be one of your starting outside corners. I think ideally you want Alontae Taylor to stay in the slot. He's been very good there. So I think essentially it comes down to maybe Quincy Riley and Isaac Edom at trying to compete for again that. And Alante could bump outside if it came down to that. But I think, again, ideally, in an ideal world, he could stay inside, and it would be Edom and Riley competing on the outside there, with Reed and Matthew as your safety.
Yeah, because obviously, Kool-Aid's going to be on the other side there. I think Alante Taylor, he has to stay. He's much better playing a nickel position than I think he is playing outside. And also, you're counting on Kool-Aid to take a big step up.
Yeah.
You didn't bring in another marquee veteran corner. So you're second-year player, and you traded up last year in the second round to get him. So you're going to be counting on him a lot. Riley maybe could play inside there, but you just don't have a lot of depth at corner right now, which is funny because last year you felt like you had all the depth.
Yeah, well, you did, yeah.
Right?
You lose Lattimore and Paulson and Debo in 1 year. That's too big. It's too big guys to replace. Now, I agree with maybe not getting into the Paulson and Debo bidding war, but that's still big.
Yeah, because, again, you brought somebody that, back that you're familiar with, but you didn't go get a tier 1, day 1, first week free agent to replace those guys either. So you're going to be counting on a major step up from Kool-Aid, and then somebody like a Quincy Riley to be able, even though you selected him in the 4th round, he's got to help from day 1.
It's true. It's a little bit of a risky position, isn't it? It's a little bit of a risky position. Some pretty good receivers in the South as well.
You went and signed, obviously, Justin Reed at the safety position, but, you select Sinker in the 3rd round as well out of Vatech. Obviously, you still got Tyron there, and Jordan Howden, somebody that you've liked in the past, but he's kind of gone in and out of the lineup. So I would actually kind of say the entire DB room
is what? Oh, it has to it's thin.
It's thin.
Yes, absolutely. And again though, so that potential weakness for this New Orleans Saints team, but my bigger takeaway as we're still so close to the draft is I actually like how they prioritized who they were going to select this year. And we'll see if it pays dividends. Again, the great hope is that you hit on another 06, you hit on another 17, one of those draft classes that sets you up to be good for years to come. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.